What is menopause? We hear the word a lot, especially when you're peri or getting into it. So menopause, the actual word menopause comes from the Greek meno, which is moon or cycle, and pause, which means stop. So while a woman has a cycle, because it's the same kind of 4-week, 28-day cycle like the moon, we were called cycle, and then pause when it stops. So officially, a woman is considered in menopause after she hasn't had a period for 1 year. So even if you have a bit of spotting or a few months on and off and then you have a little period, it's still all considered perimenopause. The full menopause officially is described when you're actually 1 year of no period, then a woman is officially in menopause. Now, what is interesting, if you look at the history of menopause, because still in our society, not sure what your experience has been, but having talked to many women about menopause, is still a bit of a taboo subject. I suppose because it's not our, most glamorous years, with menopause, we become sweaty, we become grumpy, we put on weight. It's like not the best, most beautiful. We're not in our 20s, right? Just glowing. So it's a bit of a taboo subject, but we really, because it's our life, we really need to look at it. And, and there's ways to improve our experience and get a better quality of life. Now, if you look at the history, there is history documented all the way back to ancient Greece, where women were getting menopause, and there's a bit of documentation like how they were going crazy, but there's not a lot of documentation, and that's for two reasons. One reason is that the life expectancy back then was very short. Women only lived into the 40s, 42, 47. They wouldn't really make it past 50, not just women, just men. The life expectancy at that time, because of various reasons, was shorter. So there was not enough time for all of that to happen, maybe a bit of perimenopause, a little bit of menopause, but they didn't go that whole cycle of perimenopause and postmenopause. So there was not a lot of documentation. The other reason is that women were considered lower class citizen to men. So there was not an incentive to document what was happening for women because they were not that important as such. Another interesting, which I found fascinating, is that in the Victorian era, everything that was good about a woman was related to her ovaries. So her grace, her niceness, all the good qualities about women. But when women went into menopause, grumpy, moody, not so nice, and then they said that their ovaries, something was going on with their ovaries. Their ovaries went bad because now they've become hysterical, they've become bad mood. So the solution, which is a bit sad, the solution was to cut their ovaries out. And that's where the word hysterectomy comes from. Hysteria, which is what they related those bad moods to, and ectomy, which is cut, like when you do a surgery, cut. So hysterectomy comes from that era, from that language. The other thing that was sad, that at that time, women, because of the hysteria and because of their mood and because nobody knew how to deal with it, and it was not that important to deal with it, they didn't care really. So a lot of women found themselves in mental asylum, which is all really sad, but it's good to understand where we came from and that now we have the freedom to do something about it. So keep tuned to my other videos where I explain why and how we can improve our symptoms in a natural way and how we can transition smoothly and nicely into the years beyond. Bye for now.